Tilted Town, arguably one of the better POIs. Now, in the end of the season, it wasn't like the Cowboy Ranch. It was actually just Tilted Town. Now, I heavily endorse this POI. Like, it's so well done. It's well created, well thought out, able to capture the tilted vibe despite not being tilted at all. The secret underground pathways, entrances that resemble more shaky shafts. This POI altogether is a great POI. There's nothing more to, stagnant about. Tilted Town is basically, there was a meme that says, you want the old Tilted Towers? Yeah, let's go old. And this is the product. It's really interesting. I like the design of this POI. I wish it could be done more, excellent. Like, they could have done a lot more better if it was not no build and no break-in. The idea of zero build was unfathomable at the time, but at the end of the day, it's just a POI. Now, if there was mechs, they couldn't break anything. They couldn't see if mechs were not introduced in season X. I believe this season would be more fawned over, but because of that, led to the dry ruination of the season. I played the season more for its point of interest. And this is it's a beautiful, beautiful point of interest. If they put Tilted Town in the desert instead of at the center, I believe it will flourish and prosper more. But unfortunately, this Rift Zone had to leave because the Gotham POI replaced it. This place just feels all around good with surrounding mountains. It's just if there was no gimmick, I think it would flourish and prosper a lot more better and everyone would go there. So that's my thoughts on Tilted Town. What is up, guys? Today we are going to visit Greasy Grove. Now this POI was mixed in the community. Yes, Greasy Grove is back, but it was different. Every 10 seconds you'll have the taco time effect. And this effect ruined the POI. And now Greasy Grove is not greasy, it's just a taco. Which in a sense, taco is the same as, taco time. They're greasy. Both the hamburger and the taco is greasy. So I understand the Greasy Grove. But it just feels so weird playing Greasy Grove and there was Polar Peak right there. It was so weird back in the day. It was not really that interesting. Nothing much to say about this POI except that it was lame. They could have done a lot more with it. And the idea of a grassy place in a snowy tundra is kind of eh. So I have to give this POI a 6 out of 10. It's not as good as predecessor, but it isn't also that bad. If they remove taco time, this would make the POI stand out a lot better. So that's my thought on this place. Next POI on the list is Retail Row. Now, if there was no zombies, I think it will flourish. But they had to add a gimmick, or else Retail Row would just be Retail Row from Season 1. There would be no additives to it. New additions. It's just Retail Row, man. It's just Retail Row. There's nothing else. Retail Row with zombies. That's all this POI is. Which I understand Understand this is from a different reality. Every response is from a different reality. But to be honest, the idea of it, it's okay. If only Retail Row appeared without zombies. If there was no zombies, I would drop Retail Row like countless times. But unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. Which thus gives me the rating of a 3 out of 10. Not the best POI, but fathomable. Now this POI, it's really well designed. I do have to say that, but other than that, it's just Moisty Mire and Paradise Palms, which is a good grand mixed subjugation. See, it plays out well, and if they added crouching, they'll make zero build a lot more interesting. But as you can see, it looks just like Moisty Mire, but with Paradise Palms in the mix. I like the idea, I like the dystopian look of this place. Not much to say about this. I do remember playing Catch. How that was a nuisance. But if they didn't if they removed mechs, if they have removed mechs like earlier in the season, I think the mechs would be fond of. But because of that, and now to limited resources, we can't generate an opinion over it. And people gloss over this design. Why am I why is it all heavy ARs? Yeah, that's my thought about it. Oh, and we also had the jail here. I like the idea. I like the idea. Moisty Mire was nothing short, but at an overwhelmingly negative POI because there wasn't that much stuff. So you'd think that combining it would do good. But there was this thing called crouch to prop, and when you would crouch, you would turn to a prop, thus rendering you Yeah, I've seen this before. Now, if they added the movie set in combination and correlation to POI, I think this would be more fun and would be able to fathom the difference. See, like, look at this. Moisty Palms. An excellent rift zone if they... It's a mix of Oasis, an Oasis down swamp POI mixed with desert is such a cool original idea. They should do more of this like that. See, even the ice cream truck is here. I have nothing else to say, but this POI is pretty good. If there was no crouch to prop. Now hopefully, in Season X in November, that they would remove crouch to prop. I hope they learned the lesson. See, it just looks so beautiful. And they ruined it by adding crouch to prop. Last drift zone is Dusty Depot. Now this is moments prior before the meteor devastation. And as you can see, the meteor is floating in the sky right now, frozen in time. Because for some reason, some discrepancy relating to the 0 point, froze time indefinitely. And now we're over here dropping at OG factories since this hasn't been in ports until like Season X. Yeah, the sound effects. You know, back in the day, I would never drop factories because there was too little loot. But it was at the center of the map, which thus gives it a higher quality rating. I mean, it's cool and all, but I think the coolest part is the meteor. Honestly, one of the better additions. Like I said, if they didn't add mechs, this season would have been 10,000 times better. But unfortunately, they ruined it. And now they added mechs to ruin everything. It was honestly one of the worst additions of the game. Here's Dusty Depot. As you can see, it's configured and shuffled. The colors are shuffled instead of red, white, blue. It's red, blue, white. Which I don't understand. At the same time, this was a rich POI. Now, there's one honorable mention I have to give to, and that is not Loot Lake, but Starry Suburbs, which cannot be seen in this version of the map. I understand their quality, they have to suffice for a limit. Oh, do I read the play then? Okay. Oh, I remember this. This was back in Season 8 when we were doing an excavation site. And we wondered, like, what's under this bunker? I hope next season, Season 8, that's gonna release on April 1st, jokingly, I do believe that there will be some sort of gold sanctuary underneath that bunker. And instead of keeping it sealed, we would do in Season 8 now this is the final red zone, or even if you can call it the red zone. It's the 0 point, the first ever 0 point. And this hasn't been revealed until like Season 8. It was only then that the 0 point shows zero gravity. Ha, funny. But I like the design of this because it's something we haven't seen before. Yes, we've seen white, but we haven't seen white in this perspective. My honest thoughts and opinions. I like the little strands in there that appeared in Chapter 7, Season 1. The strands, the red strands, they complement the rift shards. Everything's out of place. 0 point was about to explode, but it's in stasis right now. That's how it was back in the day. And I remember dancing with my mech in this place. Honestly, what was I thinking? But other than that, I give this place a 8 out of 10. Because 8 seems like a flourishing number. Honestly, one of the better POIs. Another mention. There's no floating island. Floating island hasn't been added into the game at this point in the moment. Honestly, with the culmination of all these POIs, I think Moisty Palms might be my favorite aesthetically. But Tilted Town is gameplay. That's what I think. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.